Taking vitamin D, but still exhausted, foggy, and struggling with Hashimoto's? The problem may not be vitamin D itself. It may be that your dose isn't correcting your deficiency. And no one explained the magnesium and vitamin K2 connection. In this video, I'll show you what vitamin D actually does to help regulate your immune system and the three things to check before assuming your supplement is working. As a nurse with Hashimoto's, vitamin D became an important part of my own thyroid recovery, not because it magically cured my autoimmune disease, but because vitamin D is involved in regulating the immune response that can mistakenly attack your thyroid. Today, I want to show you three specific things to check because most women are missing at least one of them. You get told everything looks fine, and yet your body does not feel fine. That mismatch matters. So many women with Hashimoto's are doing everything right. They're taking medication, eating cleaner, adding supplements, and they still feel exhausted, still feel foggy, and still feel like something is off. They go back to their doctor and hear that their labs look fine. Keep doing what you're doing. You're improving, but they don't feel like they're improving. That gap is real. And vitamin D is one of the places it shows up the most. What most people don't realize is that taking a vitamin D supplement is not the same thing as having enough vitamin D actually working in your body. Those are two very different things. There are a few steps between swallowing a capsule and your immune system cells actually getting that signal. And any one of those steps can quietly break down without you even knowing it. That's what I want to walk through today. Three things that determine whether the vitamin D you're taking is doing anything. Before I get into the first one, let me tell you why vitamin D matters for your thyroid specifically, because that is the piece most standard care skips entirely. Vitamin D isn't really a vitamin. It behaves more like a hormone inside of your body, and almost every cell in your immune system has a receptor for it. For someone with Hashimoto's, that is a really big deal. Hashimoto's is an immune system problem at its root. Your immune system is producing antibodies that attack your own thyroid tissue. Vitamin D can help send a calming signal to that response. It doesn't fix everything on its own, but study after study has found that vitamin D is low in people with autoimmune thyroid condition, and raising it may help support a more balanced immune response. I had thyroid antibodies for years, and nobody ever connected it to my vitamin D. I went through that whole period, multiple doctors, multiple rounds of labs, and not one of them pulled a full nutrient panel. When I finally worked with a functional medicine provider who actually ran one, low vitamin D came up right away. And I remember thinking, how long has this been sitting there at that level? And that's not a reason to blame your doctor by any means. It's a reason to know what to ask for. So let's get into the three things. The first thing is to check your actual vitamin D number, not just whether you've been given a supplement, not just whether the box gets checked in your chart, the actual number. This is the most overlooked step, and I see it constantly. A woman gets her labs done, is told her vitamin D is fine, and keeps taking her supplement. But fine means something very different depending on who is reading it. Most standard labs call it deficient at under 20, but a lot of functional medicine providers will aim for somewhere between 60 and 80 for someone with an autoimmune thyroid condition. That is a wide gap. If your level is at 32, a conventional lab will mark it normal. But for your immune system and thyroid, you may still be running too low to get the benefit that you're hoping for. The test is called the 25OH vitamin D test. Next time you see your provider, ask for that actual number, not just whether it was checked, and ask where they want it to be for your situation specifically. And keep this in the back of your mind because when we get to the third thing, you'll understand why that number might not be moving, even when you're doing everything right. The second thing is to check the form of vitamin D that you're taking. This surprises people because it sounds like a small detail, but it really isn't. There are two main forms in supplements. D3 is the form your skin makes when you're in the sun. It's the form your body uses most easily. D2 is a different form, and your body has a harder time converting it into something that's usable. The problem is that D2 shows up a lot. Prescriptions for high dose vitamin D, those 50,000 IU weekly doses that doctors sometimes give, are often D2. Cheaper supplements use it too. If your bottle doesn't say D3 specifically, it's worth looking into. There's one more thing here. Vitamin D is fat soluble. The body absorbs it with dietary fat. So if you're taking it first thing in the morning before eating or just with your coffee, you may be absorbing a fraction of what's on the label. Taking it with a meal that has some fat in it, like eggs, avocado oil, olive oil, salmon, makes a real difference in how much is actually getting into your system. I was on a vitamin D supplement for several years and I didn't pay any attention to any of this. I took it when I remembered with whatever was nearby. I didn't take it with fat and I really wasn't consistent in my timing. My levels barely moved for a long time. Once I started being more deliberate about how I took it, things started shifting. Not overnight, but the trend did change. One thing that made it easier for me to stay consistent is AG1's D3 K2 supplement. I have been using it for a long time and it checks the boxes that I care about. It has D3, not D2. The K2 is already paired in with it and it's clean. It doesn't have any filters that I need to worry about with my sensitivities. And I'm not someone who recommends things just because they sound good. It's actually what I genuinely take. And it's been part of my routine for a long time. If you want to try it, the link is in the description below. And as always, check with your provider first, especially if you're on any medication, because it's not a one size fits all. But there was still something else missing in my protocol. And this next piece is the one that surprises people most. The third thing to check is whether your body has enough magnesium to activate the vitamin D that you're taking. This next part explains a lot. When you take vitamin D, your body has to convert it into its active form before the cells can actually use it. This conversion depends on magnesium. Your body needs it to run the process. And if you don't have enough magnesium, that conversion can slow down or stall, no matter what dose of vitamin D you're on. And here's what makes it tricky. Magnesium is chronically low in a lot of women with Hashimoto's. It was for me. Stress burns through your magnesium supply. Gut issues reduce how well you absorb it from food. And some common medications totally deplete it. A standard blood test for magnesium often looks normal when you're actually low because your body keeps pulling magnesium from your bones and your muscles to maintain your blood levels. So you can be taking vitamin D faithfully, eating well, doing everything right, and still not getting the full effect because magnesium is the missing link in the chain. The forms that absorb best are magnesium glycinate and magnesium malate. Magnesium oxide, which is in a lot of cheap supplements, doesn't absorb well and can cause loose stools without actually raising your levels. This is a great place to mention something that I've put together for you. It's called the Autoimmune Relief and Energy Workbook. It helps you track your symptoms and nutrient patterns, and it gives you a framework for what to bring to your next appointment. It's completely free, and the link is in the description below. Now, there's one more layer that fits here, and most people have never heard of it: vitamin K2. When you take vitamin D consistently, especially at higher amounts, your body absorbs more calcium. That's actually one of the things that vitamin D does. But calcium needs to land in the right places: bones and teeth, not in your blood vessels or soft tissue. K2 is the nutrient that helps direct the calcium to where it needs to go. In functional and integrative medicine, vitamin D and K2 are increasingly talked about as a pair. The specific form of K2 that comes up most is called MK7. If you've been taking a higher dose of vitamin D for a while and you've never heard anyone mention K2, it's a question worth bringing to your provider. One very important note here is if you're on a blood thinner like warfarin, Coumadin, don't add K2 without talking to your doctor first. K2 works through the same pathway and it can interact. This is not something to change on your own if you're on that kind of medication. But if you're working with a functional medicine provider on your Hashimoto's and nobody has ever mentioned this, which I doubt, but it's definitely worth asking about. Now, please let me bring this together. Your vitamin D supplement is only the first step. Whether it actually helps depends on your actual blood level being high enough to do the job, on taking the right form that your body can use, and having enough magnesium to convert it, and on whether K2 is part of your picture if you're at higher doses. These aren't four separate conversations, they're one chain. And if any link in that chain is weak, the whole thing underperforms. I carried that chain with weak links for years. I had high antibodies, low energy, told my labs looked normal. Once I started filling in the actual gaps, things started to change. Slowly, not a miracle overnight, but it did steadily change. Your body isn't broken. It just may have been missing the raw materials it needed to do its job. If you have Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism and you haven't looked at your actual vitamin D number recently, start there. Ask your provider for the number. Check the form D3 or D2 on your bottle. Ask your provider about magnesium status. And if you're at higher doses, bring up K2. Before you go, tell me in the comments below if you've ever had your vitamin D checked and was told it was fine, but you still felt terrible. I'd really love to hear what your experience has been. And if this video has helped you see something you hadn't connected before, please give it a like, subscribe, and share it with another woman that you know who's been told her labs look normal, but still knows something is off. And please grab your free autoimmune relief and energy workbook in the description if you haven't already. Remember, your body is not broken, it's burdened. And when you understand those burdens, you can finally begin supporting your body in the way it's needed all along. Please take care of yourself because you deserve to feel better. And remember, we're all in this together. I'll see you in the next one.